Tremendous atmosphere here in Amsterdam for this penultimate match. The match that will effectively decide the champions. This is Van ter Hek, the Dutch captain, for Honnet to chase. Match. Hager, who scored against Great Britain, number 8. Opportunity early for the Australians. Mark Hager's already got 3 goals, one of them against Great Britain, and a scoring chance in the first few seconds. Davis, the captain. Oh, dispossessed by his opposite number, Van ter Hek. High ball into the area, good ball. Dyer. Warren Birmingham. Oh, good play. Looked a really good player in the matches that we've seen, this man. And Australia breaking quickly. And going around the outside now. Can they get it across the circle? Klassen protests. The umpire's whistle has gone. So now Australia to strike their first short corner. The striker from this will almost certainly be number 3, John Bestall, who you may remember scored against England in that World Final at Willesden. Scored only once in the tournament so far. So both the Dutch and Australia have had 1 short corner apiece, and neither have been able to convert them.
Well, that was, again, Australia's first chance of scoring, and it was just a bit of a best who couldn't actually put the ball on target. And in this sort of level, you really should be able to strike the ball at goal.
Vessel. Being almost intercepted. Boverlander. Quickly taken. Van ter Hek. Nelissen. Dutch ball. Van ter Hek. Australia's captain, Craig Davis. Looking for some support. Batch. Again, the high ball into the circle. Well, the Dutch sound happy enough. I'm not sure whether there's a beer tent over there. Tune's very familiar. Close your eyes and it could be Anfield. Rennie Klassen. Dalyson, Mark Dalyson that is, looks for Parnell Lead, who's got around his marker. Oh! Well, the whistle had gone. It looked like an infringement against the Australians, but it's given the other way. Knocked away by Boverlander from Dean. Neil Horgood. Birmingham. Boverlander. Just over halfway through this first half, still no score. Wansborough in possession for Australia. Tries to put Dean away. He gets it across. Oh, what a great score! Magnificent goal by the Australians. A quick break forward by Wansborough. Dean got there and he got it across the circle beautifully into the path of Hager. And the opening score from the Australians after 22 minutes. That's the man who scored against Great Britain, his 4th goal of the tournament. And that surely will now put some fire into the Australians. 1 scored, 2 more required.
Lovely move there by the Australian team. So far it has been very much end-to-end, very little control, but Wansborough making a beautiful through ball to Dean on the right wing. A nice early cross, and Hager was just in the right spot at the right time. And it's typical of him to score a goal like that.
Wansborough. Got the ball rather tight under his feet. Van de Heck. Good play. Brinkman. Crossed the face of goal, and the stop was by Craig Davis. Well, he needed more support there, didn't he? Jack Brinkman, the Dutchman. He did his bit, and there was no one in the middle. And when the opportunity similar to that arose for the Australians a few moments ago, well, they did have the man on the spot to convert. Hurst, Hager, and Batchu had the shot. Well, considering where he was and where the ball went, he'll probably not be too delighted with that effort. The same goal difference and the same number of goals scored as West Germany, then both teams would take part in a 5-stroke penalty shootout, rather like that in European football, to decide the final champions. But before that, Australia have got to score 2 more. If they fail to do that, then West Germany will win the Champions Trophy. If they get more than 2, then Australia will be the champions. Davis, long ball forward, offside. Goal scorer, Mark Hager, engineer from Brisbane, 22 years of age. Boverlander, under pressure from Dean. Interception was by Davis. And that's another Dutch hit. Australia have won this Champions Trophy 3 times in the past. The Dutch have won it twice. Van de Hek, supported by Koisman. Honert. And that came off the stick of number 10, Neil Horgood. So, strike is to the Netherlands. All right across the face of Australia's goal. It only needed a touch from number 16, Paco van den Honert. And that would have put a totally different complexion on. Remember, Australia have got to win 3-0. They're 1 up at the moment. Van de Hek. It's for Hoynett, but a bit too long. Well, the Australians certainly looked in the first half, Jim Duthie, as though they had the quality and the pace to score the goals. But the longer this second half goes on, without them getting a second, then perhaps the more desperate they'll become.
Yes, and for a Great Britain point of view, we don't really want Australia to do well, for Holland to do well in this game, because if Holland lose and Great Britain win the next game, which will be played in about an hour's time, Great Britain have got a chance to win the bronze medal.
Still in possession. And that's a short corner. And there were only 2 short corners in the first half. One to the Dutch, one to the Australians. Neither of which really produced a good effort. And John Bestall, number 3, will strike for Australia. And the ball's got to be stopped cleanly. Look for Bestall, number 3. Oh, they tried a trick. Oh, and it came off the post from Horgood. Hager, rather. Oh, what a let-off for the Dutch, and what a disappointment for Australia. Well, here's the short corner again. This time, Bestall didn't. They played it to number 8, Mark Hager, who hit the woodwork, and how hard is that in hockey? Not something you see too often. Now here come the Dutch. Parlevliet, the big 15. And that's another short corner, this time to Holland. And just before we take that, Jim, quickly, a let-off for the Dutch, Hager hitting the post.
That was very unfortunate for the Australian side. A beautifully worked move, and in fact a move which the Great Britain side use quite often.
And the 11,500 crowd have gone quiet indeed for this second Dutch short corner. Boverlander strikes. Another penalty corner. Well, he scored 6 times, this enormous Dutchman, as the coach Hans Jorritsma looks on. Santiago Deo, the umpire, we saw briefly. Boverlander gets silence all around the stadium. Tries again. They've worked one. Good stop by Neil Snowden. The shot was by Patrick Faber, who came on at the start of the second half as a substitute. Push to Faber, who had a good target to aim at, didn't he? And that was a really good save by Neil Snowden. Oh, good stick work by Hager. Stopped by Klassen. And the defender has to be left to bring that ball down cleanly when it's hit that high. And that was obstruction by Theodore Doyer. Warren Birmingham. Davis, the captain. Bestall.
The British women's team is kindly requested to go to the bus now.
Oh, a very noisy and expressive crowd that we have in Amsterdam. They came to watch the first game. West Germany against the Soviet Union. That was 5-2. They stayed to watch Argentina and Spain draw 1 apiece. And now this match. And Australia on the attack. This is Dean. The block was by Ronald Janssen, the keeper. Australia with the long corner. Dean hit his foot. Van der Heck, the captain. Davis. Horgood. Davis again. Smith. And the umpire's deciding that was obstruction. Koyman. Doyer, number 10. Knocked away by Dean. Well, Great Britain's 2 results against these 2 sides look quite good in isolation to their other results in this tournament, having drawn with Australia and having beaten the Netherlands 1-0. It's a pity the results in the other matches didn't match that quality. Klaassen, the sweeper. And a Dutch hit. Faber. High into the circle. Oh, and the attempted kick by Snowden almost fell to Van der Heck. But the umpire has decided a penalty corner, despite the Australian protests. There's the ball knocked forward by the substitute Faber, and the rather wild kick by Snowden. It would have looked quite good at Accrington Stanley.
It was a wild kick by Snowden, but the short corner in the end was given for feet against the Australian fort.
Boverlander, good stop, Snowden. Well, that's 2 important stops from the insurance representative from Melbourne, 27-year-old Neil Snowden. That would have gone in. He got across really well to knock it away with the left hand, having made a stop from the earlier short corner by Faber as well. And if the Dutch manage to score here, and they've threatened a couple of times in this second half, we'll need the pocket calculators to work out the permutations about who might win the tournament. Wansborough. Feet. Deliberate was the decision of Alain Renaud, the French umpire, in that half of the field. Hans Joritsma, the Dutch coach, makes a few urgent notes. Now, what this time? We've seen the Australians hit one short corner and then work a ploy on another. Warren Birmingham to put the ball in. Little nod of instruction. Birmingham! Well, that's another variation. Well, they're asking for another short corner, the Australians, and that's yet another permutation of the short corner. The man who'd put it in, Birmingham, with the shot, saved by Janssen. Well, both goalkeepers are busy.
Yes, this Dutch goalkeeper is playing very well since he's been brought in at the last moment, since the number 1 Dutch goalkeeper has broken his finger in the first game.
Birmingham. Best all. The whistle is shrill, and Mark Hager looking across to the umpire. Did he deduce what the decision was? Now, this is the Australian keeper, Neil Snowden, who's having a little bit of treatment from the physiotherapist, Graham Reid. And we can only deduce Snowden perhaps injured, making that last important save. Certainly well padded, Jim.
Well, the goalkeepers nowadays, since they fall on the floor so often, need padding on every part of their body.
This is Smith. Hazelhurst decides to leave it for Smith. Outside the circle, and he's beaten away by Hazelhurst. And it was Maurits Kroes who had to knock it away. And the noise that you can hear is because the Dutch crowd have decided to amuse themselves with what's become known as the Mexican wave. And that's the goalkeeper, Frank Leicester, with the broken finger. Batch. And it must be distracting to the players with some 11,500 people packed into this stadium, Amstelveen, here in Amsterdam. And I think the Dutch director's been distracted as well. Parlevliet. Van de Hek. Parlevliet. Whistle had gone. Feet. Van de Hek with the hit. Davison. And still a Dutch ball. Davison. The shouts of enthusiasm and encouragement for the Dutch will certainly include the West German voices as well. West Germany, who beat the Soviet Union 5-2 on this pitch a little earlier today to put themselves top of the table. And the Dutch making another substitution. Number 12, Gert-Jan Schlatman, who comes on, and it's 16 Honnerd who's gone off. Batch. Interception was by Koyman. Feet. Now Birmingham looked around and decided in the end to leave it. Not 5 yards from the hit. Well played, Smith. Birmingham. Van de Hek. And the game has really opened up in these last few minutes. The pace is non-stop. And at the end of a long tournament, they've played a lot of hockey in the last 8 days. It will be interesting to see which of these two sides tires first. The Dutch playing for pride on one of the minor places. Australia trying to win the tournament.
Well, this game really is starting to liven up now. The Dutch were outplayed in the first half, and for the first time in this game, they've sensed the opportunity of getting a result from it.
Patrick Faber, the man who was brought down by Neil Horgood. Borgelander. The Dutch, remember, in third place in the tournament so far, just ahead of Great Britain. The Dutch with 9 points at the moment. Great Britain with 8. The Dutch losing this match 1-0, and Britain with a match to play, obviously able to overtake them if they can beat Pakistan in their final game. Craig Davis. Bovelanda, who's come forward. Chance for the Dutch. Van ter Hek appealing to the umpire, and they've got the short corner. And I don't think the Australians are too impressed. So he can try again, Bovelanda, and again the whistles call for quiet. Again, they haven't done it. Oh, they've scored! It's the substitute, Patrick Faber. It's one apiece, and Australia's dream of winning the Champions Trophy is beginning to diminish. Everybody was watching Bovelanda. Again, they worked it short. The big man, Patrick Faber, 23 years of age. His first goal of the tournament.
There's a far better move by the Dutch side there. They tried the same sort of move in the previous short corner, but Faber made a mistake then of actually having two touches on the ball. This time he hit the ball first time, and the result was the equalising goal to the Dutch side.
Well, 3-0 was the target for the Australians before the match began. 4-1 is the target now. They need the 2 points, and they also need the goals and the goal difference to get ahead of West Germany. So they've got to score 3.
Particularly, well, there we see Stefan Blocker on the screen, the German centre-forward, who obviously is far happy with the situation now, but personally, I really don't mind if Australia win or lose this tournament, but I would like to see Australia obviously winning for Great Britain's sake, because if Holland get a draw here, they most likely will get the 3rd spot, and that won't give anything for Great Britain to play for in the next game.
Davis. Batch. He's gone round his man, Batch, number 2. Janssen out of the area, out of the circle. It's a penalty corner. Mr. Renault of France has decided it's a penalty corner to Australia. And there'll be a brief delay before that can be taken. Here's the moment again. Number 2, Colin Batch, who went round his man. Janssen came out of the area.
Well, the short corner there given against the Dutch number 8 for... He had a swipe at the ball, completely missed it, and chopped the Australian stick, and the umpire decided that was although it wasn't particularly accidental, was going to be detrimental to the Australian attack and might have stopped them scoring a possible goal, therefore decided a short corner.
Now, what will the Australians try this time? We've seen a real variety of short corners from them. And they don't get the crowd silence. Bestall, blocked. And the block greeted with cheers by the Dutch support. Well, that's clearly the Australian bench, faces of anxiety. Richard Aegis, the coach, who was nearest the camera. Faber, the goal scorer. Rather Parlavleet, apologies. Difficult to distinguish between the 2 of them because they're both enormous. In fact, looking at them, Parlavleet, Faber and Bovelanda, all big men. And Australia make a substitution. Number 10, Neil Horgood, who's gone off. And it's number 12, Brian Zukalic, who's come on as the substitute. Interesting that he's on because he's the man who was flown out especially from Australia to replace Graham Reid, who broke a thumb just before this tournament began. So number 12, Zukulic, hasn't yet played in the tournament, having only recently arrived from Australia. No whistle, I think. Klassen expected one. And Hagar is the man who's been penalised. Knocked away by Dean. Well, they've certainly come out determined to enjoy the afternoon of the Dutch crowd. You may have heard in the first half a few choruses of You'll Never Walk Alone. Bestall. Hazelhurst. Australia's ball. Colin Batch. Birmingham. Van der Heck, the captain. Oh, played it behind his man, Eric Parlevliet. Birmingham needs the support of Davis, his captain. "60 minutes played. 10 minutes left. Still 1 goal apiece, and a result which would make West Germany the champions, if it stays that way. Birmingham. Batch. Good play again by Batch. Tackle was by Bovelander. And it's a Dutch ball. Well, they've got less than 10 minutes, Australia, in which they'll need to score 3 times, Jim, if they're to win this Champions Trophy, and it's beginning to look extremely unlikely.
Well, I don't think they're going to get the 3 goals they need now to win the tournament. I still think that there could be more goals in this game. The Dutch, through the second half, have got to grips and have made the Australian side look particularly ragged, which no other side really has done in this tournament. That might be because that the Dutch have packed the midfield with experienced players. They've got 2 midfield players with over 100 caps each. But on the other hand, the Australians have got 3 relative newcomers to the international scene. I'm sure the experience in the midfield, in fact, is telling on the to the Netherlands.
Koeman. Faber. Schlackman. Of course, the only defeat the Dutch have suffered in the tournament, we make no apologies for reminding you, was the defeat at the hands of Great Britain 1-0. A bit of pushing and shoving. And it was taken, so it's the Netherlands in possession. Koeman, beaten by Davis, but the whistle is gone. Australia's record before this match was played 6, won 4, drawn 2. And the Dutch full record, played 6, won 4, drawn 1, lost 1. Long corner to Holland. And again. Short corner. Well, it was from the short corner that the Dutch got their goal against Australia. And now with another opportunity, which will have to wait until Gert-Jan Schlackman has recovered from the knock on the knee. Or what has Jorritsma, the coach, worked out for this one? Will it be Bovelander to hit number 11? Or will it be number 2, Patrick Faber? Bovelander. Yes! 2-1 to the Netherlands. Bovelander, the top scorer in the tournament, his 7th goal, all of them from short corners. Wide of Neil Snowden. It's the Netherlands 2, Australia 1. Australia won't win the tournament, and it will mean also that Great Britain cannot finish 3rd if it stays that way. So now, I suppose, Jim, we're imploring Australia to get forward and score another goal and at least make it a draw.
Well, that certainly is the case now, Tony, and but I just can't see that Australia getting back in this game. They might squeeze an equaliser in before the end of this game, but their game has completely fallen apart. They haven't looked like the side they were in the first half. And I think the turning point in this game was when Hager hit the post, because I think if Australia went 2-0 up at that time, we would have seen a different second half altogether.
Schlackman trying to find Van ter Hek. And just looking ahead to the permutations and the possibilities, if it stays this way and the Netherlands win, then of course they will go ahead of Australia and finish in silver medal place in the tournament with 11 points, Australia on 10, and Britain with 1 match left to play on 8. And the goal difference is such that if Britain were to get 10 points, if they could beat Pakistan in their last match, they'd need to win by something like 4 or 5-0 to sneak the bronze medal ahead of Australia.
I think although Pakistan haven't played particularly well in this tournament so far, to beat the Olympic champions by 4 or 5 goals is maybe asking a great deal of the Great Britain side, but I'm sure they would have a try.
In fact, slight correction, it would have to be 3-0. Van ter Hek. Faber's gone down the line. Schlackman. Koeman. And the Dutch side are popping up all over the place now. Faber, one of the goal scorers. Zuklic. Birmingham. Just looking back at the record of this Champions Trophy, which many consider the hardest of all the hockey trophies to win, because it's the 8 leading nations, everybody playing everybody else on a round-robin league basis. Not quite the same as a knockouts competition, which applies in, of course, the World Cups. There are 7 very hard matches to play in a little over a week to win this title. Australia have never finished out of the top 3, and of course won't do this year either.
Well, with now very little time to go, the Dutch side seem to be quite content just knocking the ball into the Australian half, just hoping that this 2-1 result will be quite sufficient. It does put into perspective how well Great Britain played against Holland to be the only side to beat the Dutch side on the home ground, and certainly an indication of how well Great Britain have performed in this tournament. What is also interesting to see from support the crowd have given the home side. I haven't seen this sort of support since the World Cup, when England had terrific support in that competition to do so well, finishing off with a silver medal.
And in fact, just to clarify what I was saying about Australia's position, they've never finished out of the top 3 in this tournament. They'll be in 3rd place if they lose here, but of course Great Britain would have the opportunity to knock them back to 4th if they could beat Pakistan by 3-0 or better in the last match. That would mean Australia finishing out of the top 3 in the Champions Trophy for the first time in 9 tournaments. Bestall, Batch, Van der Heck. And I think the Dutch are just happy to knock it anywhere at the moment. These last few minutes ticking away. Warren Birmingham. That'll waste a little bit more time. We've a minute left. And Holland on the point of what they will see, and indeed justifiable too, as a well worthwhile and a memorable victory. Smith. That's a long corner. They're taking it quickly. Van der Heck with the interception. He just runs it out of play. They'll have to come back. There's the hooter. It's all over. The Netherlands have beaten Australia by 2-1 in Amsterdam to deny the Australians the opportunity to win the Champions Trophy. That means that it's the West Germans who are the champions in 1987 on 12 points. The Netherlands in silver medal place with 11 points as a result of this victory over Australia. And now we'll have to see if Britain can beat Pakistan in the last match to get 3rd place. The final score, the Netherlands 2, Australia 1.
Jim Duthie and Tony Gubber, your commentators there. That's the final table position as far as West Germany is concerned. They've won that championship. As Tony said, it's Great Britain against Pakistan later on, and any goals in that match we'll have for you in this programme. Now, some golf news. West Germany's Bernhard Langer, the overnight leader, faltered to a 1-over par